and I went to a museum today about the Civil War, and I got this deck of cards and just wanted to show you guys. Okay. So it says 1864 poker deck, and the box is pretty cool. It's Highlanders, Lincoln Heights, New York on the box, and it has two stamps, old stamps. And they have ones in each corner. It looks like a cent banknote, an old American cent banknote, and on the back is like a bishop-looking person. And on this panel right here, it says a reproduction of a Civil War era poker deck with full-length, single-ended court figures. Decks used during the Civil War did not have corner indices. So basically this deck, and this is what a deck would look like, is a replica of a Civil War poker deck from 1864. And I already opened it and took out the wrapping, but there was no seal on it, which was pretty cool. And it came in the outside wrapper, and then there's an inside wrapper. You just tear that off. And the first two cards, I mean, I've already played with the deck, but the first two cards is two cards that it's basically like a little summary of how playing cards started in the America, because apparently they were illegal. Gambling cards were illegal, and it talks about like the first card game and whatnot. But here we go. So the cards don't have numbers on them, and they're single-ended, single-edged. And then the single edge would be that the court faces are only on one side. There is no double hedge. It's all just, that's the king, this is the queen, another queen, and so forth. And the back design is like an old style floral print, like that you would find on a washcloth, and it looks pretty cool. I like how it looks like. The card itself is kind of a thick card, and it's not beveled, it's not rounded out and shaped. This will be a size comparison. It's actually larger. This card is larger, and it's more of a square cut and not a rounded cut. Also, it's glossy ink, so they're very slippery, and I haven't found how this deck handles after time, how it feels after time, about how sticky it gets or anything like that, but it's a cool deck. It's pointy edges, and for the deck handling is pretty nice right now. I mean, it's really easy to get fans, and it spreads real nicely, real soft and easy, and it's good. Handling for Magic, it also works. I mean, it is a new deck, of course, but everything it works just fine for things like that. It's a cool deck. I like it, the way that it's old school and whatnot. And because of the single cut, like, it's difficult to actually see the cards scrolling along, like to pick out cards. it's kind of like difficult. So on like the magical level, it's more visual. These cards are very more visual because of the lack of numbers, and it's very like old style. Has this feel to it. I like it. Value, I don't know. I don't know because I just bought this in a museum. So, and these are replicas. This isn't like an original deck. So it's probably just, you know, a cool deck that you can buy at a museum. But I like it. So let me tell you guys a joke. I have 3 cards. First card I have is the King of Spades. Second card I have, also the King of Spades. The third card I have is the Ace of Clubs. Now we'll put it on top. So what card is on top? Well, let me show you the bottom. Yeah, the King of Spades. And if the King of Spades is on the bottom, then the card on top has to be the King of Spades. Because the King of Spades is on the top, the King of Spades is on the bottom, then the other King of Spades is also in the middle. So let me take the bottom King of Spades, put it on top. So what King of Spades should we have? We should have the one on the bottom, right? And if we have that one on the bottom, then the one on top has to be this one too. And if this one's on top, this one's on bottom, then the one in the middle also has to be the other King of Spades, right? Because we just moved it to the top. But this is a bit confusing, right? Because I still haven't seen this card yet, right? You know what I mean? Because I haven't seen that card yet. I mean, well, the top card. Top card has to also be that card, right? Because they are protecting the middle one, right? The middle ace, yeah. See, there's that one ace. Because that one ace has to be held by this guy and by that guy and also by that guy, right? So what's going on? Well, I think there's a joke here. Because the problem is that you saw what this can do. You saw what this was. But you're a bit lost during the whole thing, right? So now that makes sense. So I always had 3 cards. And of course, I have to talk about the box itself. So the box is thick cardboard. It's white on the inside. And it has a long bill. So when it closes, it actually makes a popping noise and seals. It's thick, and the only problem I have with it is when I put the cards in, sometimes it slips. So a few cards slip into the other fold here, which is a bit annoying, but I just pull those cards out and put them in the non-open side. And I like the design on the box. It's like a khaki beige color, and the company is US Games Systems Incorporated. Yep. This is printed in the USA. It has an ISBN number, a packaging number, and the location of the incorporation. You can also visit their website. And this deck was published in 1997. So this is the box. Yep. The actual cards. So let's start with the face cards, or the color cards. Non-face. So the non-face cards are pretty cool. Actually, as you can see here, I hope you can see like the way they printed the cards. It looks like they literally like stamped the colors in, which looks really cool. It gives the cards this very old feel to them, and some of the pieces are like unpainted or off. The symmetry is taken away, and it gives it a more natural feeling, which I really enjoy. Like, see there how it looks like these were like handmade or something like that. It gives off that impression, even though these are I don't know the word for it, but they're laminated. This is a new card and whatnot. And it builds up. It seriously builds up from 1 to the king. And with the face cards are super cool, especially with the whole single edge thing where it's the full king. Here, opposing kings, 2 colors, and it's very classic in the sense of how we know our kings. But what's really interesting is their dress, their facial features, how they drew the faces and the hair. The facial hair is very cool. It looks hand drawn because of the detail. It's actually off. Like, as you can see here, his eyes are different sizes, and I hope it focuses. But you can see uncolored uncolored areas of the jacket where it's supposed to be colored, or areas that were overcolored or not stamped correctly. Like it looks super authentic, the style. And what really caught my interest here was the jacks. The jacks are the only face cards that are actually standing. Here, the Jack of Spades. See, he's on the sidewalk. You can see them there standing. You notice those little imperfections. These imperfections really give it a natural feel to them. And here, another 2 jacks. And they're both on sidewalks. You can see their feet, is my point. You can see their feet. And it's super interesting how they do that, because of the king and queen cards, they don't. It's more of a portrait instead of a full body picture, which is really fascinating. And as you see here, like these faces actually have characteristics to them, complexions. And I really don't see that in other decks. I mean, I see personality and flavor, but like here, look at these 2 queens. These women look so different. Look at that. I think that's super cool. And yeah, there's only 1 Joker card, and it's L.I. Cohen. It's the American Eagle, Ace of Spades, with flowers around it. And this is supposedly a Civil War eagle at the time, because the stars represent the Union, all the colonies in the Union or whatever, or how many states there were back then. And the eagle the eagle has arrows in feet, and he's carrying a banner in his mouth, and the banner says Ivory Sur FACE. So Ivory Surface. And this is the only Joker in the deck. It just comes with one. And yeah, this is my interview of the super cool deck that I found at a museum. Deuce.